All right, guys, we're back with another shop update. This is John Shaver's truck, Razor Haven. This is a 1960 C10 that we've been building for an eternity, and we're almost done. Yep, so this is that Roadster Shop spec chassis, LT4 with mods, 4L80E. I've been over and over and over and over and over it for 4 or 5 years. Well, it's back from upholstery. The upholstery shop did an amazing job. Ryan from The Stitch Co. down in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, he had this for like 2 months is all, maybe less, and knocked out all the interior and did a really good job. So we'll head on the inside and show you guys that real quick. You all love the patina paint. We've showed you that before. The only thing I'm simply trying to do right now before John takes delivery of this truck is put miles on it. Every truck that we build or every car that we build, motorcycle, whatever, I gotta put miles on it. I gotta shake it down and find the little issues, the rattles, the leaks, all that stuff. We got to fix that before the opportunity arises for the owner to find the problem. So there's a lot of snow outside and salt on the road. So we're just taking this opportunity to work out little bitty things that we know of until I can start putting a bunch of miles on it. So that's why it's here still. The interior is gorgeous. It's German square weave carpet. That's the trend. That's the cool stuff. That's what I like. And we kind of did some contrasting dark browns because the interior is that fawn color. It's the, you know, the light tan color painted interior. Inside of the door panels, dash is all factory style stuff. A smaller diameter reproduction wheel, but then Ryan did all the carpet. And then this seat is very cool. It just started out as a normal Snowden seat. It just gets shipped. It gets shipped here with his standard foam on it. This is his frame, his seat frame and seat brackets, which I like a lot actually. They have like a pretty universal side mount in that you can adjust the height of the seat, the angle of the seat, and get all that locked down. The only thing that we did any different was that Ryan really sculpted the foam for the seat. John wants to drive this thing pretty hard, kind of be like a pretty sporty street truck. And so we did want to keep a bench, but as you guys know, like if anybody's ever driven anything with a full leather bench, you're just going to be sliding all over the place, and it could be even dangerous. So we built these seats with quite a bit of bolstering. It may look a bit aggressive, but honestly in person it's awesome. It looks perfect. And more importantly, it feels perfect. It feels like you're sitting in like a more of a bucket seat or like a performance sports seat that would come in a car, but still got the pickup truck look. It's got just normal 3-point harnesses. Dylan's in here working on redoing some of the bracketry for these, but it's just a dark brown seat, dark brown 3-point seat belt that matches the leather. Pretty neat. Ryan stitched this with just a subtle color difference in the stitching. It's not quite a gold, but it almost perfectly matches the fawn color interior, which I think is really neat. But that's about it for this truck. It's up, running, driving, dyno tuned, aligned, upholstery is done. And as soon as we can get it on the road, we'll be just testing things, making sure that it's a good vehicle to give John. Next on the list is Jimmy's Blazer. Jimmy's Blazer is pretty much done too. We need to put miles on it. And since we can't do that because of the roads and road conditions, it's getting ready to go to upholstery too. We got the doors off because there's a couple little paint issues from just some stressing of the doors and some cracked paint. So we're fixing the doors, the paint on the doors are getting reinstalled. But that's really about it. So it's gonna go to upholstery and get all the upholstery done. And by the time the upholstery is finished, the roads will be good and it'll be springtime and we'll be ready to put miles on this too. So this one's about to head out. And we'll take this opportunity to show you something cool that we've been working on. This is just like a reproduction Blazer console, but we did some unique things. You guys saw in the last video that when we talked about this Blazer, we talked about this push button starter. So it's essentially like the column shift, but it's electronic. So you can park, reverse, neutral, and drive. Instead of putting it under the dash or on the dash or something, I wanted to put all that stuff in the center console. So Dylan made this mount for it that goes inside of this newer Ford center console part. And then we made brackets to mount this inside of this reproduction console. And so when you drive, you can simply roll this back, You can shift the truck, you can control the stereo, and then when you park it, you can just roll this forward to close this. And then right now we've got a friend that is designing the finished upholstered piece that'll snap down to this. So it'll just simply have this opening in it, and the rest of this will just be a padded upholstered part. So your arm can actually still sit on the back of this when you're driving, and then you can just roll this back to, while your arm's on the armrest, control the radio or shift the truck. So really excited about this. I thought this was kind of some outside of the box thinking, which you guys know I love to like think of new ways to do things, and this one was really cool. So Dylan's wrapping this up and getting ready to reinstall it, and then as soon as that top part's done, it'll snap on and then be ready to be upholstered with, along with everything else in this truck. So that's about all that's left on Jimmy's Jimmy. And then the other huge project that's been like our daily grind is Emmons' truck. In the last episode, you guys saw us kind of struggle with the bed a little bit and run into some issues with the bed sides that were on it. Well, as you can see, Dylan's got this bed completely wrapped up. It's on, looks great. And then today, what we've been working on is the exhaust system. We got one of our good friends, Mike. He's from Toronto. He's in here actually and helping us do a really awesome, intricate, complex exhaust system for this truck, and I'm really excited about that. But as soon as the exhaust system's done, we can go on to other things like building radiator hoses and air intakes and stuff like that. And then we can start building wiring harnesses. There's a lot of work to do, but what we've been doing so far is finishing the bed, and now we're on to the exhaust system. So not a lot of updates. The stuff that is going on is gonna be in the next episode that you guys are gonna see on YouTube. We actually just finished filming that stuff today. Yeah, so Emmons' truck is the one that we'll be working on. It'll be quite a few months before that thing's totally done and ready. Jimmy's is about to leave to go to upholstery. John's is back from upholstery, and we'll be driving it, and hopefully that thing will be to him by the time it warms up outside. The other big elephant that's not in the room is Ray, and I know you guys have been asking tons about it. I get texts and DMs and everything. Did you sell Ray? How's Ray going? Is Ray done? Where's Ray? I guess the long and short of it is I made some huge changes, and I'm not ready to show you yet. I completely have rethought this truck and just made a huge pivot. A bunch of you guys are gonna be pumped for it. A bunch of you guys are gonna be frustrated maybe with the situation, but more importantly, I'm pumped about it. I've been rejuvenized, I don't know what you'd say, but I'm pumped up about it again. I was starting to get bored of it, and we've already been down that road. We've already done all that stuff, and I don't wanna just keep doing the same old thing. So I want to keep learning. I want to keep pushing myself. So we've made some huge changes and are scrapping a whole bunch of that truck. So stay tuned. It'll be a couple more months, but Ray's going to be awesome. You guys are going to be really pumped, and I'm pumped about it. So that's it. I want to go across the street because we've got the dyno in the building over across the street, and the drywall is all hung in the apartment. So stick around. We'll show you that stuff. You gotta climb this snow mountain. All right, last time you guys saw in here, they had studded out all the stuff in this dyno bay, but now all the insulation's in, and they have the exhaust fans in, which I'm so pumped about. I don't know why I'm so pumped about exhaust fans, but those things are huge. They're like 53-inch wide, each of them, and combined they pull like 47 or 48,000 CFM. So those things are up and running. So that'll be able to suck all the exhaust out of the building, you know, when the vehicles are running. And then the dyno is in its place. So this is a dyno that's made to go on top of the ground, on top of the concrete, and it'll anchor down. And then we got a 4-post lift. So it's a 4-post drive-on lift, and it'll go right in front of the dyno. So we'll be able to position a truck in front of it and get it on the dyno, and then just back up off the lift onto the rollers. And then when we're not using the dyno, which is like 99% of the time, we'll still be able to use this bay and this 4-post lift to stack vehicles. So we'll be able to put a truck in the air and a truck underneath it. So it'll be some cool storage space too. So one other thing I want to thank you guys for is some of the comments, and we even had some emails talking about the what we're covering the walls in this dyno room. And there was a lot of good advice. A lot of you guys were really helpful in talking about what we should do or what some of the complexities could be with running a vehicle inside here. So the walls are just OSB, and we've always been looking for something to cover the walls in for sound. But the other thing is like a flame retardant panel. So we did find some really neat black material that'll line these walls, that'll help the acoustics, and it's also completely flame retardant. So it's got like a certain amount of burn time rating that you guys suggested, and it meets all that criteria. So if we get a vehicle that does have like a backfire or a flame out the exhaust, there's no fear of, you know, catching anything on fire in here. So that was really helpful for all you guys. So once this is wired, we'll start putting the lift together and get it in place, and then we'll start doing all that coating on the walls and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Happy for this. And then the apartment has all the drywall on it, and we're just kind of waiting for it to get a little bit warmer so that they can tape and mud all the walls in the apartment. Yeah. Yeah, so plenty of room for like apartment hangout area and TV on the wall. Sean actually went ahead and ordered all the kitchen cabinets, the sink, refrigerator, so everything for this little dinette area. So all that stuff's on the way. She already picked out all the colors to paint the walls. We already got the shower base in, and then we ordered the insert for the shower. It looks like subway tile, just a whole lot cheaper. So that'll get done. And then I think we already actually have the bathroom sink and all that stuff here already. So I think once that the mudding and taping's done, they just gotta sand it and we'll get to painting, and then that's really about it. Because the only thing we're gonna do on this concrete floor is just clean the heck out of it. And we're gonna rent one of those scrubbers and scrub this floor real clean and then just seal it. And then that's all that's gonna happen. We'll buy some cool rugs, you know, like a rug for in here and a rug for in there. The bedrooms turned out cool too. And then like, if you're ever here and we need you to stay for longer, you decide to stay for longer, you need to launder, we're gonna have a stack washer and dryer in here too. We're actually putting out a YouTube video today. So you guys, by the time you'll see this video, you'll have already seen that, but this is the spot where the Mr. Cool HVAC unit went. And then when we go back in the front room, you'll see the spot where the one in the front room hangs. I think it ended up looking good. All right, well, that's it for the updates with Level 7. There's quite a bit of stuff going on with Spirit and Speed, so let's go do an update on what's happening there. Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, because I know we've picked up a lot of new subscribers, Level 7 has always been the brand that's like built cars, and we've started to build our e-commerce business. And in planning for future growth, we've kind of divided the company and we've started a new business, and the e-commerce side now is called Spirit and Speed. And we'll have a whole new website and all kinds of stuff like acknowledging all that and bringing a more formal introduction online. But I wanted to kind of talk about where we're at with that business. So this is where we used to do assembly on vehicles, and we finally just kind of started to structure this room specifically for e-commerce. So all the vehicles are out of here. We've kind of moved out anything that had anything to do with the vehicle building side of the business. And then we've tried to just physically buy tables and shelving and just kind of organize this to be more efficient and give us some room for growth. So we've decided to try to start buying some more inventory slowly as we can. When we make profit, we're just kind of reinvesting it back into the business with tooling and inventory. So we've bought a really cool assembly table, which I'm like more excited about this table than I probably should be, but it's a 12-foot long, big, heavy steel table. So now Joe has room to assemble our products. He can box things and he can wrap them up, put instructions in them. And then this is where he would take the individual components and build out the full products and then shelve them. So I'm really pumped about this table. We've got our crimper for all the plumbing that we can do. A lot of the custom AN lines we will crimp here, and we've put our crimper and some of the dies and everything that's specific to our plumbing right here. And then all of our orders that are placed on the website, when we are prepping to ship them, we're kind of staging them on this shelf. So we've got a suspension system that's about to ship for a customer, And then we've got some individual orders that are just waiting on a piece that was either back ordered or needed to be brought in here before it was shipped. So we're trying to structure all that properly. Alex has got himself like a little shipping station, and we're building out, like I said, some of the inventory. So you guys probably don't know this because we don't really speak directly towards it, but we keep like every AN fitting you can get from Fricola in stock. We've got hundreds of feet of AN hose, and we've got everything to do that stuff. So if you guys ever need any of the AN plumbing or custom hoses made, you can either buy them off the website or you can just send us an email directly. So we make a lot of soft line plumbing packages for C10s and C1500s, and we'll be kind of growing that business. But if you're not really familiar, we have all these hoses made to plumb within the chassis of any of the model years that we already make. So instead of having to buy tubing benders and flaring tools and walk that like learning curve of how to do that, and it could potentially take you guys multiple weekends to learn how to do that, we offer soft lines that can plumb the whole frame in just a matter of hours. So like this is a new model year that Joe's been helping me put together. So even growing this product line is like so time consuming. We had to buy a truck, you know, tear it down, you know, get it down to the bare frame and plan how we're going to route all this stuff. We have to build all these hoses and record all the measurements and create bill of materials. And now Joe's even in here this morning helping me write the instructions for this system. So there's a whole lot of steps that go into this. So I'm really proud of like where we're at and where we're getting to with some of this stuff. But this is a chassis plumbing kit that he's putting together. So these are for the 88 to 98 trucks, two-wheel drive, short wheelbase now. And then every other option that you guys could think of will have to be another kit in addition to this. So the four-wheel drive could be a different kit. Long bed, you know, we'll have to amend one of the hoses. There's just all kinds of things that we could grow throughout this part of the business. But yeah, so those are the plumbing kits. And then we're also working on more parts to, I guess, finish the installation of something that you could buy through us. So we sell a lot of radiator packages, and a lot of them have brushless fans on it. And then one of the questions that we were frequently asked is, what overflow should I buy? And so every model year of truck, you could mount a radiator overflow in a different location, and then depending on where your radiator cap's at, either on the driver's side or passenger side, there could be so many different radiator overflows that you could buy. We decided to come up with a specific radiator overflow for the brushless fans that mount to the fan module itself. And this would fit any model of truck that in any radiator package that was using the 14-inch brushless fans. And this is something I'm really proud of. We put a lot of engineering into this specific part and made it work like a radiator overflow is supposed to. It's not just a canister that coolant can go in. Like for instance, we've designed this in two parts, and it's got a dash 4A and inlet, and then welded to the bottom of that inlet is an aluminum straw that goes all the way to the bottom of the canister. So it can draw the radiator or the antifreeze back into the radiator. And then there's also a laser cut support that's welded inside to support that tube. And then there's also the overflow tube for this. So if this fills all the way to capacity, this tube is extended all the way up to near the top of this. So if it gets all the way full and you've got coolant actually exiting this, you know that this sucker's full. And then we've made it with a petcock in it and stuff like that. So we're just working really hard to come up with all kinds of cool solutions for you guys that are simple enough to just buy off the website. So that's some of the things. Oh, even fuel level sending units. A lot of people are buying no limit chassis from us, and they all come with a very specific size tank. And instead of buying the fuel level sending unit that's universal that they offer, that you would have to trim and cut and do things to, we've decided to build a specific fuel level sending unit that bolts into that tank, that is the right depth for that tank, and is the ohm range for your C10, and has a high quality Deutsch DT 2-pin connector on it. Comes with instructions. So we're just really trying to think about all the things that you guys are talking about, all the questions that you have, or looking for solutions on how to do things. We're putting them all on the Spirit and Speed website, and you'll click and buy all these solutions through there. So thank you guys already for all the business that you have provided us with. We're just putting huge effort into coming up with new solutions, new products that you guys can buy off the website. So please leave us a comment and let us know like what things that you're not seeing on the website that you need help with, or specific brands or parts that we need to be offering on our website. One of the things you guys have talked a lot about is, hey, I only see Holley EF on your website. What about Haltech? Well, what we've done is we've been working for 6 months actively on building a relationship with Haltech, and I'm happy to say that we are now a Haltech dealer, and Alex is actually currently listing every product that Haltech has to offer on our website, and some of the stuff that's very specific to LS motors. We've got the Rebel LS, we've got a lot of the LS harnesses, and then obviously in addition to that, every ECU and dash that they offer. So one of the questions that I was getting this last summer and this last fall was like, why don't you guys offer Haltech yet? What do you think about it? Well, to be completely fair, I didn't have an honest opinion. We had never worked with Haltech. I'd never touched the product. I'd never tuned the product. And so before we can actually offer a product, I want to feel really good about the relationship and the quality of the product. So since summer, I've been actively in their software, looking at the software, studying the software, and just watching and taking classes that teach me everything about how to use that software. And then after multiple visits with Haltech and talks to them directly, I feel really good about this conversation, and now I'm super comfortable offering all the products to you guys. So the answer there was that I needed to do everything to make sure that when we offer this product, it's exactly what you need and it's something that you can trust. And that's always been the motto with Level 7 and Spirit and Speed, is that we are only gonna offer the products that we trust. So you guys will be pumped that we have Haltech now on the website, and you guys can buy that directly from us. Oh, wait, one more thing. We're getting ready to order one big initial stocking order. And so what we're gonna offer you guys is like a pre-sale. If you guys wanna hop on and send me an email and let me know exactly what you're looking for from Haltech. If you wanna grab that in this initial pre-sale, we'll offer free shipping, and maybe we'll offer some incentives on Level 7 stuff if you're buying Haltech too. So just wanna touch on that. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for the updates on Level 7 and Spirit and Speed. Thank you guys for watching. There's a lot of content coming at you. I think that what you should have just watched would be content from our Japan trip. There's this update video you're watching now, and then we've got a couple more coming down the pipe that are filmed and being edited. So one of those will be a full episode on Taz's LS3 engine build out, and then we've got an update video on Emmons truck, which will be the bed completion and building the stainless exhaust for that truck. And then there's a suspension install on an OBS. There's tons of stuff coming your way. Thank you guys so much for chewing up all this content. Help us out a little bit, subscribe, like, buy some shirts and a bunch of corduroy hats. Have a good winter. See you later.